Use a formula to solve applications. Well, let's see what we got. It takes you 45 minutes to get to your best friend's house on a weekday. On the weekend, it takes 30 minutes longer, and your average speed is 16 miles per hour slower. Why would you ever go on a weekend? How many miles do you travel to your best friend's house? Now, you might be thinking, how am I supposed to know? Well, here's the thing. We're talking about distance, rate, and time, and that, my friends, is a formula. So we know that distance equals rate times time. And we're talking about two different things here, right? We're talking about a weekday and we're talking about a weekend. So let's focus first on the weekday. What do we know? It takes 45 minutes. Okay, now here's another thing. 45 minutes. There are 60 minutes in an hour. So 45 minutes, if we take 45 over 60, reduces to 3/4. So we're going to use 3/4 of an hour. Okay, so I don't know the distance, but I know my time is 3/4 of an hour. Looks like I also don't know my rate. This is fine. This is all fine. Okay, so there's my weekday. I don't know much. On the weekend, it takes 30 minutes longer. Okay, well, 30 minutes is a half of an hour. So 3/4 plus 1/2. Well, let's get a common denominator. 1/2 is 2/4. So that means on the weekend, distance equals rate times time, my time is 5/4. Okay. And my average speed is 16 miles an hour slower. So if my rate over here is R, then my rate on the weekend is R minus 16. Hopefully it just dawned in your head why we needed to change these to hours, like our time to hours, because our speed is in miles per hour, not miles per minute. Okay, so back to my weekend. I know my rate is 16 minutes slower, so now I have two formulas. And you might be thinking, well, that doesn't really help me. Well, sure it does. We know that both this chunk, R times 3/4, and 5/4 times the quantity R minus 16, both of those are equal to D. So that means they're the same. If I say this D, right, the distance is the same. When I drive to my best friend's house, it's the same distance. That means these two pieces are equal. So I know that 3/4 R is the same as 5/4 times R minus 16. So it's a matter of solving this equation for R. So let's walk through the steps. My first step is to distribute 5/4. So I've got 3/4 R equals 5/4 R minus, if I take 5/4 times negative 16 over 1, 4 goes into 4 once, 4 goes into 16 4 times. So 5 times negative 4 gives me negative 20. Okay, we're crushing this. So now I lost my R. Did anybody else notice that? Whoop, there it is. 5/4 R minus 20. Okay, now I need to get all my R's on the other side. So let's subtract 5/4 R. So now, give me my space back over here. I have 3/4 R minus 5/4 R. Well, the beautiful thing, we already have matching denominators. So 3 minus 5 is negative 2/4 R. That's the same as negative 1/2 R. Okay, because we reduced, right? Negative 2/4 is negative 1/2. So I have negative 1/2 R equals negative 20. To get rid of my fraction, I multiply both sides by the reciprocal. So I multiply by negative 2. Negative times a negative is a positive. I'm left with my rate. And negative 20 times negative 2 is 40. So, does that answer my question? No, in fact, it does not. So this tells me my rate. Rate is 40. If we come back to my weekday, and I know R is 40, distance is my rate times 3/4. Well, put 40 over 1. 4 goes into 4 once. 4 goes into 40 10 times, and 10 times 3 is 30. So the distance to my bestie's house is 30 miles. Let's do one more, even though this is kind of long. You want to create a rectangular pen in your backyard for your chickens. You want the length, rectangle. You want the length to be four more than twice the width. 4 more than twice the width. That means the width is W. And the perimeter is 128 feet. What is the length of the pen? Now, hopefully you remember, rectangle, opposite sides are equal. So both lengths are 2W plus 4. Both widths are W. To find perimeter, we add all four sides. So 2W plus 4 plus W plus 2W plus 4 plus W equals 128. Let's combine like terms on the left. 2W plus W plus 2W plus W. 2 plus 1 plus 2 plus 1. That is 6W. And then I have 4 plus 4, which is 8. So 6W plus 8 equals 128. We subtract 8 from both sides. So 6W equals 120. We divide both sides by 6, and W equals 20. Is that my answer? No, it is not, because that's my width. The question says, what is the length? So when you're doing an application problem, always go back and make sure you're actually answering the question. Okay, so now I have 2 times 20 plus 4. Well, 2 times 20 is 40. 40 plus 4 is 44. So the length of my pen would be 44 feet.